Hello, hello! Welcome to the Schtudio. I am not Austin. If you don't know me, I'm Emily, and today for Sweet E Schtudio, I'm going to show my process for creating some marbled stone nail art. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to go through my process of how I usually remove my nails and then prep them for the new color and the new design, and then we'll be doing the design as well. So we want to remove the bulk of the nail with an E-file going at 30,000 RPM, which is the highest setting on the E-file that I have. To remove the bulk of the nail, I like to use ceramic bits because they don't heat up as quickly as the metal bits, so you can use them really safely if you are someone who's a DIYer like me, who, takes a little more time on each nail than someone who is a professional. It's always nice to have a brush on the side to dust off any excess nail dust that gets onto your hands while you're doing this process. It is very dusty. You'll see that I do have a dust collector that I use here. It's a low airflow. It does have settings on it that can increase the airflow, but it is enough to trap all of that dust, and I do have some filters on it. It's really nice to have the disposable filters because you can just throw those out at the end of the session. I used to live without this, and it has made so much of a difference in my life now having these little disposable filters. I like to look down the barrel of the nail because it helps you distinguish where the bulk is still that you need to file away. After going in with the E-file, I'll go in with my hand file to refine the shape. I also smooth out the surface of the nail just to make sure that any planes that were created when I was using the E-file are completely smoothed over so that it's ready for the next step of application. I prefer to use this metal cuticle pusher. I don't really do much with my cuticles. They are very cooperative. I'm very lucky in that regard. So I basically just use this cuticle pusher to push them back and leave them at that. I don't cut them, I don't mess with them really in any other way. It's just this cuticle pusher here, and then a light buffing of the nail. Now I'm going in with my very low RPM cuticle bit. I like to use a ceramic bit rather than a metal bit because it is a little cooler on the nail, so it doesn't heat up and cause any pain. This bit is great because it allows you to get into the little corners of the nail where there might still be dead skin stuck to the nail plate. So this allows you to kind of get into those corners and clean that up, and then by the time you get to application, it'll be nice and tidy. I don't really use a primer when I'm going in with the application for the base layer. 91% alcohol works really great for this, and I find that it's enough for me without any additional layers of primer to just have the gel stick right to the nail that way. I like to start with a clear base, and then this way when I'm filing it off later, I'll know when to stop before I hit the natural nail. When I'm doing my base, I like to just take a little drop of gel and just kind of float it onto the nail from the cuticle down to the free edge, and then you can check your line of light to make sure you don't have any hitches in the form of the nail. I do have two lights that I'm using here just to help with the filming, but as you can see, it kind of creates this hitch in the nail, so it looks like it's not smooth, but it actually is. I found just a little bubble inside this nail, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a fine detailer brush and dip it in 91% alcohol, and then we'll just take that brush into the nail and pop the bubble. So we're going in with our first coat of color here. I've chosen this kind of nude base that I want for my marble nails, and we'll just go with one even coat across the entire nail, and we'll do a second coat of that color so that it evens out. For this brand in particular, I find that it doesn't mix well with the brand of my base gel, so what I do is I wipe off that inhibition layer with a 91% alcohol wipe, and this way when the gel goes on, it doesn't bubble or create any craters or anything like that. Sometimes when I'm putting the color on or when I'm doing a base coat or anything like that, I find that I will accidentally flood my cuticle area. In this case, what I do is I use a brush that just is dipped in 91% alcohol, and then I'll skim that along the cuticle area so that it gets rid of any of that leftover gel. Now for this design, I am doing a base layer that is going to be started with metallic flakes. I want to kind of build up the layers in order so that I can really make it feel like stone, and like there are layers that are pushed back and there are layers that are more forward. I wanted to add some flakes to the middle of the nail and then also a couple on the outer edges just to kind of balance out the design. I'm adding this milky white in just a couple of places on the nail. I'm covering some of the flakes and leaving a couple other places uncovered just to add some interest to the nail and add a little bit of nuance. Next I'll go in with this magnetic gel. This is the magnetic glitter gel that I have that I really like. It's more of a nude color, and I'm adding this to just a couple of places. This is very similar to how I was adding the milky white, and this will just help bring that balance as well as add some more layering to the nail to make it seem a little more real. It's a little hard to see here, but I am using a magnet to align the particles in the magnetic gel, and that just brings the glitter to the front and makes it really, really shiny at a certain angle, which adds that extra depth. I'm adding the alcohol ink now. This is a flat brown that I'm using, and basically you kind of just add it in to the nail, and then you will go back in with a detailer brush and some alcohol, and that way you can spread out the line and make it look a little more like natural stone. I did choose to go with just 2 lines here instead of maybe a third going across. Let me know what you think in the comments, if I should have added that 3rd line or if these are just enough here and it still looks balanced to you. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the results. I'll just add my top coat here. This finishes the entire design and really seals everything in. If you have any imperfections, it really smooths everything over and just makes it look really nice and shiny and clean. So this is always a fun step to do because it really highlights what you've created. I really like them. I think that I did a great job with this set and getting that natural stone look to it. I think it's a little bit busy, honestly. I don't know if I should have done all 10 nails as marble nails and maybe just done a couple of them, but you know, I think it's lovely as it is. It's a great choice if you want to go with a little bit of a bolder look. I did go a little heavier on my right hand by accident. It looks good, I just don't know if I would choose to do that next time. I do like my left hand a little better where it's a little less in your face about the lines. It's a little more subdued on that end and a little bit more natural looking in my opinion, but you know, left hand does what it does and it does what it can to make the right hand look beautiful, and I think left hand does a great job. Overall, I think this was a really great set of nails, and I'm really happy about how they turned out. This was definitely one of the more free-flowing designs that I've done, which is always nice because it just kind of allows you to create and not have to worry about adhering to a certain exact standard. But yeah, that's it for today. Thanks so much for hanging out. It's been a blast. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my work for the first time here on the channel. Please check out the links to the sister channels in the description for a specific genre, but you can always find everything on the main channel. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.